To really know what makes a great city work, you have to peel back its skin and expose its secret life force. A system of incredible complexity and technology that millions depend on, but few understand. A fantastic voyage now begins. A journey deep inside the world's megacities. They call it Asia's little tiger. And in the battle for economic supremacy, the little tiger is tangling with giants. Taiwan floats in the Western Pacific, 160 kilometers from the Asian mainland. Its nerve center is the vibrant metropolis of Taipei. To the north, Japan and South Korea. To the west, Asia's superpower, China. To the south, the emerging economies of Malaysia and the Philippines. Taipei is ringed by economic rivals. To survive in this financial jungle takes more than brute strength. It takes the wiles of a cat, a little tiger. This is the tiger's vibrant heart. Taipei is home to 1/10 of the nation, over 2.5 million people. They live in one of the world's most densely populated nations, yet inhabit a model megacity. The streets, clean and safe. The population, highly educated and fully employed. Taipei has carved out one of the highest living standards in Asia. Upscale, upbeat, and up to the minute. Nowhere else in Taiwan can you learn and play round the clock. 6 colleges and 18 universities, all-night cafes and 24-hour bookstores. No catnaps for the little tiger. Taipei is a city that never sleeps. They call the island's transformation the Taiwan Miracle, and Taipei is living proof. Taipei performed a miracle of its own. It turned to face the future without turning its back on the past. In Taipei, they embrace technology, yet honor tradition. They revere work and cherish play. They take pride in their city and lay out a welcome mat to the world. In this sprawling metropolis, where do you go to find the soul of Taipei? Can you capture the spirit of a people in concrete and glass? If you shoot for the sky, you can. Taipei 101 is 3.5 times as tall as the Great Giza Pyramid. Over 5 times the height of Big Ben. 56 meters higher than the skyscraper it passed, the Petronas Towers. 1/2 kilometer high, the world's tallest building. Its shape comes from nature, its design from the future. It blends international expertise and ancient traditions, foreign components and local genius. It's so modern, it's the very symbol of the new Taipei.
Taipei, we all know, is a city, but it also symbolizes T, technology, A, art, I, innovation, P, people, environment, and identity. And this is really the characteristics of this project.
Design, construction, operation. At every stage, Taipei 101 embodies the city it stands for.
I think Asian cities today all trying to find their identities or trying to be recognized. And one of the way, of course, is to do a very tall building, a signature building.
C.P. Wang is the architect of the world's tallest building.
We were looking for a very special building with characters that reflects our culture and the character of the city. It doesn't have to be the tallest building in the world, but however, it is easier to be noticed to have the record of tallest building. So this is why we all agreed to shoot for that.
Buildings become icons of cities. London's Big Ben, Paris's Eiffel Tower, Sydney's Opera House.
We have the same hope that this building will represent Taipei and even represents Taiwan. This building shows that Taiwanese can do something really significant, really nice, and really representing themselves.
Its very shape mimics a native plant, bamboo.
In our culture, bamboo is a very noble plant, so that was in our mind when we designed this.
To the Chinese, bamboo stands in harmony with the wind. So does 101. Originally, it was designed with square corners, but Wang shaved them off to route the wind around the tower. Among Chinese, 8 is a lucky number. Wang designed 8 sections, each with 8 floors. Each section is like a traditional box called a do, where valuables are kept.
We're hoping that will give the user a sense of prosperous goodness and everything, that they feel good when they come to work.
At the corners of each section, Wang designed a dragon's head. Like gargoyles on cathedrals, they safeguard the building. Bracing the 41-meter-high ceiling in the tower's shopping mall, another safeguard, a huge steel truss shaped like a dragon's spine. On each corner of the 27th floor, Wang inserted a figure shaped like an ancient Chinese coin, a symbol of good fortune. Taipei 101 stands for both past and future, depending on your perspective.
The contemporary spirit shows up very clearly for the people who look at it from a distance. But then again, as you approach it and getting closer to it, you can see those symbols that you relate to in the culture, and you feel good about it. For me, the best thing of this design is that it covers both the contemporary spirit and the traditional values.
Tradition guided Wang from the first blueprints, the venerable Chinese practice of feng shui, the art of placing things in perfect balance.
In this part of the world, when we design an important building, we usually have a feng shui master to be our consultant. And we design the building according to logic. And then we let the feng shui master review our design.
The master signed off on the design, with one exception.
We was this road running against the building, creating what we call qi that's hitting the building, not very good.
In Taoist philosophy, qi is the vital force found in all things. It contains both positive and negative energy. Both must be kept in harmony. But the road disrupted that balance. Solution? A small fountain.
That supposedly resolved the bad qi.
Like Taipei itself, the tower marries the traditional with the cosmopolitan. The symbol of the new Taipei towers over the city, a bold statement in concrete, steel, and glass. In fact, Taipei 101 is covered in 24,000 panes of glass, and somebody has to clean them. The simple job posed a complex challenge. To negotiate the tower's bamboo design, automated window washers wouldn't work. Neither would an off-the-shelf gantry. The solution was typical of Taipei itself. International components, local design. A one-of-a-kind gantry. Kevin Chong is the gantry's designer.
These gantries are heavier than what you would find elsewhere.
They have to be heavy. At 21 tons apiece, they're built to withstand winds up to 72 kilometers an hour and a magnitude 7 earthquake. The shape of the tower posed another problem and spurred another solution.
It has an exterior wall that slopes inward and gets narrower at the bottom. The cleaning rig has a special extension system. The hanging cage can extend horizontally 3 meters to clean those hard-to-reach parts.
The trick is finding someone willing to climb in the gantry.
Standing on top of 101 isn't so different from standing on top of a 10-story building. They're all high.
Junkai Huang has washed windows all his working life.
After joining this trade, I always wanted to clean 101. Now that I'm in this company, I fulfilled my dream. If I had the chance, I'd want to challenge even higher buildings. We start working at 4:30 a.m. We put on our uniforms, collect our cleaning gear, and get into our hanging cages. Every day before we get into the hanging cage, we have to check the equipment to see if it's working well.
He dangles from steel cables 300 meters long, the longest in the world.
I'm not scared of heights. I feel at ease because the equipment is very safe. As long as we follow the regulations, I should be safe.
To clean all the windows takes 15 gantries and up to 4 months, depending on the weather.
If it's too windy, we stop. That's the regulation.
The work is truly never-ending. As soon as the crews finish, they start over. This scene is a reflection of modern Taipei. Once, these men who hang from the sky would have worked the earth. 5 decades ago, farming produced nearly 1/3 of the country's gross domestic product. Today, less than 2%. Cities like Taipei now power Taiwan. Industry accounts for 1/4 of the economy, services more than 2/3. Few places have come so far, so fast. From developing nation to dominant power in half a century. Taipei rests on a dried-up lake bed. 2 centuries ago, a Chinese immigrant cleared a plot and built a farm, the origins of modern Taipei. Well into the 20th century, most of the land was covered in farms. 1949 is the year it all changed. In mainland China, the communists seized power. 2 million people fled to Taiwan. Many settled in Taipei. The influx of people helped turn an ordinary city into a world-class metropolis. A household name around the world. But the transformation began in a place few outsiders have ever heard of. 25 kilometers northeast of Taipei lies Keelung, the city's main port. With 48 warehouses and 57 wharves, Keelung can supply a megacity. Many of the raw materials needed to build Taipei 101 flowed across these docks. So did something even greater. An industrial revolution. Over 70% of Taiwan's imports are raw materials. But Taiwan ships much of those raw materials back out in the form of machinery and electrical equipment. Over the years, as the economy boomed, so has Keelung. Today, the port handles 6 times as much cargo as it did 3 decades ago. Keelung helped take Taipei from minor metropolis to megacity. Leading the way, 2 homegrown shipping lines. One is Evergreen Marine Corporation. Launched in Taipei 4 decades ago with a second-hand cargo ship, Evergreen now has more than 100 container ships, calling on 240 ports in 80 countries. The 4th largest shipping company in the world. The other, a marine shipping company founded in Taipei in 1972 to bring Taiwanese products to the world. The Yongming Line. Today, its ships call on more than 170 ports in 73 countries. North America is the world's economic colossus. Asia is an awakening giant. Yongming connects them both with 79 container ships sailing from Keelung.
Taiwan's Keelung port is our mother port. Coming back is just like a child coming back to his mother.
You can track the transformation in the comings and goings of one captain, Xie Minwan.
My first ship was a small 750-ton ship. With the growth of the economy, our company has built larger boats. Later, we had a 3,600-ton ship, and now 5,500-ton ships. Recently, our new 8,000-ton ship has been launched. Our economy is getting better.
The ship he now skippers is aptly named the Success.
We bring the best goods to people from people all over the world. We go to Hong Kong, Yantian, Busan in Korea, LA, Oakland, carrying high-tech products from Taiwan to the US, and bringing back the 303 containers of the best fruit and vegetables from the US to Taiwan. In Keelung port alone, we have just unloaded over 200 containers.
At Keelung, they move more goods faster. The key, Taipei ingenuity.
We've completely updated cargo ships with container ships. Cargo ships are still used in the developing world, but countries with advanced technologies use container ships. It's very fast to unload cargo containers. Even where each container is going is prearranged. Once we have arrived, they start unloading and loading. It's convenient, time-saving, and efficient.
Xie doesn't just carry more goods than he used to, he carries better goods. Made in Taiwan was once synonymous with disposable gadgets. Not anymore.
About 20 years ago, I started to work at Yangming Company as a ship's mate. Shipments were limited to clothing, TVs, and home appliances. Nowadays, as Taiwan's technology develops, we ship mostly high-tech products.
Taipei is now one of the world's largest producers of computer goods. Among them, the world's best semiconductors. Semiconductors are the brains of almost any electronic device. Cell phones, computers, digital televisions. None could work without semiconductors. Every day, chances are the average person uses a semiconductor designed in Taipei and made in Taipei.
如果台湾这些公司同时shut down，那也就是说台湾的这整个全球的
If all semiconductor companies in Taiwan shut down at the same time, the global IT industry would come to a standstill.
Professor Liangji Chen is a pioneer on semiconductors at the National Taiwan University.
I entered college in 1975, 1 year after Taiwan plunged itself into semiconductors. I've been through the development of the industry in Taiwan.
The industry's genesis was a breakfast meeting in a Taipei restaurant among some of the country's leading planners.
30 years ago, Taiwan's main industry was handmade crafts and agriculture. Most families like mine were very poor. So the government wanted Taiwan to move up in the value chain and increase potential incomes. It had to find a new industry to approach. After some brainstorming, they finally decided to move to semiconductors.
Taipei was the ideal cradle for the industry.
The whole generation was trained to produce things exactly according to the specifications provided. That's the quality that's needed for the semiconductor industry. When the industry first started, all they needed were skills to produce good transistors. The government has chosen a great industry that a whole generation has excelled with.
A chip the size of your fingernail is a microcosm of a megacity.
The culture of the city of Taipei holds many similarities to the culture of the semiconductor industry. We know that semiconductor industry changes rapidly. So has the city of Taipei. There are so many functions for semiconductors, and Taipei has so many different cultures within it. Taipei has been ruled by different countries and has endured many hardships. The multiple cultures have helped the industry find multiple applications for one product.
Taipei is the ideal place to design high-tech products that evolve at high speed. And Taipei is hooked on speed. Venice is known for gondolas, New York for taxis, Taipei has scooters. Other cities stroll through the present. Taipei speeds toward tomorrow. No wonder there are 10 million scooters on Taiwan, one for every 2.3 people on the island.
If you walk in Taipei, you find people walk very fast. Many people use motorcycles because they move fast. This is the culture. People react to things quickly. It is reflected in our reaction to the market and our change in design. Young people upgrade their cell phones every 3 to 4 months. That's what I call a quick reaction. Taipei's culture will bring the industry to a new level. Vice versa, the quick product cycle of the semiconductor industry will also stimulate Taipei to move forward faster. So from a historical point of view, Taipei might be called a great semiconductor city because its culture has moved the semiconductor industry. The industry will also impact the city itself.
It already has. Taipei is the world's first completely wireless city, and it boasts the most extensive Wi-Fi network of any city on Earth. Without Taipei's high-tech transformation, the symbol of the new Taipei never would have gotten off the ground. Taipei 101 is so tall, it holds an annual marathon to get to the observation deck. 390 meters straight up, 2,046 steps. Record speed, 10 minutes, 29 seconds. But not fast enough. This is faster. Elevators make skyscrapers possible, but they're a mixed blessing. The more you build, the less space you leave. Solution: think outside the box. To reduce travel time and increase efficiency, engineers split the building into 3 zones with 2 transfer points. Taipei 101 has 67 elevators. To increase the passenger load, 34 are double-deckers. 2 other cabs run the full height of the building, the fastest elevators in the world. They travel at 1,010 meters per minute, bottom to top in 43 seconds. They climb as fast as an airplane on takeoff. So fast, they're specially shaped to cut through the wind. To prevent ruptured eardrums, a unique innovation. Pressurized cabs. Inflated rubber bladders seal the cab. Intake and discharge blowers regulate air pressure. Smooth sailing. Along with the world's best engineered elevators, engineered traffic flow. More than 10,000 people will soon work here. An entire town packed into a single building. The key is keeping them moving. At transfer points, occupants move from one zone to another, just like on a subway.
Traffic has to come here to transfer to the next zone, so the heavy traffic during peak hours can be alleviated.
Pinshan Xie is the chief elevator engineer for Taipei 101. To do his job, he sometimes must leave the comfort of the cab.
Feel the wind pass you. It feels good.
This is 29 kilometers an hour, near cruising speed in Taipei 101. Only this vantage reveals the secrets to the best elevator ride on Earth.
On the sides, there are guiding wheels. They can absorb vibration when the elevator is moving and keep the car stable. Passengers won't feel any shaking during the ride.
The other secret to a smooth ride?
You can see the steel cables that are used to pull the elevator cars up and down. The cables move violently at high speed. This rubber ring device is unique. It's used to stabilize the cables.
The ride isn't just smooth, it's safe. Taipei 101 stands amid an earthquake zone. But if a quake hits during your ride, you won't get stuck. Each shaft is equipped with a seismic sensor. When it detects a tremor, it stops the elevator at the nearest floor and opens the doors. Taipei 101 is a bold loner. It's the only super-tall skyscraper built in an active fault zone. But it stands behind a double line of safety, the ingenuity of builders and the dedication of lookouts. Kai Wen-guo is the director of seismology at the Central Weather Bureau. His staff performs one of the most vital jobs in Taipei.
At the National Seismological Center, we work 24/7 all year round, monitoring earthquakes. Whenever one happens, we provide instant information to the public. We are very proud of our work. What moved me most is what happened on March 6th last year. One of my colleagues was to get married at noon and came to work at 3 a.m. because of an earthquake.
Taipei is guarded by the world's densest array of seismic detection equipment. More than 150 global positioning monitoring stations scan for deformities on the Earth's surface and changes in underground water, clues to an impending quake. Nearly 800 sensors measure a quake's strength, speed, and location. All that data flows to Kai Wen's command post. For Taipei, these lifeless figures are lifesavers.
The data you see on the screen is real time. Once an earthquake happens, the system will start automatically. We are then able to send information to the public within 3 minutes via telephone, fax, and the internet.
The sooner the Bureau reacts to a quake, the quicker Taipei can act. It took 102 seconds to react to the 1999 earthquake.
Now, our reaction time is down to 45 seconds. By 2009, we hope to shorten it to 30 seconds.
The Bureau does more than detect quakes, it helps tame them. They've installed sensors on bridges and buildings throughout Taipei.
Since we monitor so many locations and structures, we can revise design regulations to help make buildings more earthquake resistant.
As a rule of thumb, the higher the building, the more violently it shakes. But Taipei 101 breaks the rules. The tower is built like a stalk of bamboo, rigid yet flexible. Reinforced concrete mega columns rise from the foundation to the 62nd floor. From the 62nd floor to the 101st, Taipei 101 is a traditional steel frame building, but it has a hidden system of supports. The bulk of the tower is split into modules, each 8 stories tall. Each segment absorbs seismic and wind shocks without spreading those forces to other modules. Special supports, called outrigger trusses, extend horizontally to further distribute loads. The entire design is built to withstand Mother Nature's wrath. And it has. The tower was shaken by a strong quake while still under construction. Structurally, the building rode it out without a hitch. Taipei 101 is a soaring taunt to Mother Nature and a lofty tribute to local talent.
The owner and the architect made a joint decision to build the highest building in the world. After the architect made the decision, they called our company for help.
Shou Xie is the engineer who designed Taipei 101. Building the world's tallest skyscraper was a dream and a challenge.
The architects asked us if the height was feasible in Taipei. The megastructure design provides strong resistance against earthquakes and typhoons. The drawback is that the outriggers and megacolumns take up too much inner space.
In fact, each mega column is about 2.5 meters by 3 meters, almost the size of a small room. But they traded floor space for more floors.
The building adopts a megastructure to support its height. Since the core is pretty long and thin, the megacolumns and outriggers balance the core and increase stability. It's like when we are snow skiing. The ski poles are like the megacolumns, and your hands and arms the outriggers. You use both to keep balance while skiing.
Taipei 101 has still more support. The soil beneath is soft clay, a weak foundation for a skyscraper. During a quake, the movement of groundwater can shake a building. But Taipei 101 rests on a solid slab of reinforced concrete over 3 meters thick, virtually an entire story.
This solid slab transfers the building's weight, earthquake forces and wind forces, to 380 pilings underneath.
The reinforced concrete pilings were sunk 80 meters into the ground, past the soft clay and deep into firm bedrock.
Even when the level of underground water changes, or the building is struck by an earthquake or typhoon, the whole structure is still very stable.
Taipei 101 not only withstands earthquakes, it defies a perennial Asian storm, the typhoon. Like the tower, the entire city is safeguarded by the Central Weather Bureau. Daniel Wu is the chief forecaster.
What you can see here is Typhoon Somai. This storm will affect northern Taiwan and hit mainland China. Every year, about 3 to 4 typhoons, like this one, affect Taiwan.
Daniel's challenge? Pinpointing the typhoon's landfall.
The path predicted by our supercomputers is crucial. It gives us a 3 to 4 day window. But this data is far from perfect, so we need to monitor the storm closely.
He has eyes everywhere. Ground stations, airplanes, and satellites. Doppler radar can track a typhoon within 230 kilometers, detect its center, and analyze its strength.
We are slowly improving our forecasting methods and hope they are as accurate as possible for the sake of the public's safety. There is still an error rate of about 24 hours and 100 kilometers. That's why it's so important to prepare for the worst-case scenario. For example, the eastern part of Taiwan isn't suitable for the high-tech industry. High-tech industries are mostly located to the west of the mountains, which can help break the typhoon winds.
Like the city, Taipei 101 is shielded by mountains. But the tower also has a built-in defense. Suspended across 4 floors is a giant counterweight called a tuned mass damper. It's made of 41 solid steel plates. Together, it weighs 660 tons, more than 3 Boeing 747s. It hangs from the 92nd floor and works like a pendulum to offset typhoon winds. It is braced to the structure by mammoth hydraulic pistons. Whenever the building moves, so does the damper, in the opposite direction, a countervailing force to tame the wind. The pistons keep it from swinging too far. Once more, Taipei's genius triumphs over an annual Asian storm.
The damper can reduce the sway due to winds by at least 1/3 to reach a comfortable level.
Tung Husai is the engineer who designed the damper.
The tuned mass damper is working all the time. No matter if there is a typhoon, an earthquake, or high winds, it's always working. I myself observed the damper last year when a big typhoon hit Taiwan. I could see the movement.
A seismograph records every sway of the tower. Proof that more than 700,000 tons of concrete and steel are in motion.
In fact, the damper is always moving, but it's so subtle you hardly notice it.
You can actually watch the damper in action. In the whole world, it's the only damper on public view.
The architect wanted the damper to be seen by the public. In order for it to be on display, it was designed with a special shape and color.
As architects, we say, why don't we show it to people? Don't hide it in the mechanical room. This is how that big ball is generated. That's the key features of our observation deck, right? Everybody loved that big ball.
To the people of Taipei, gold represents good luck, and the tower's luck is holding. Taipei 101 has become so popular, it attracts everyone: tourists, workers, and shoppers.
The 101 building has 101 stories above ground and 6 stories below ground, which is a shopping center.
Jeff Xu knows this building better than anybody. As the building manager, he keeps this complex machine running smooth.
Every day, about 12,000 people visit the building, including customers and employees.
The result? A town inside a tower, with an entire town's needs.
The whole building consumes as much electricity as a single county in Taiwan. We use about 72 million kilowatts every year, which is very high.
Electrical lines are the weak link in any skyscraper, except this one, thanks to far-sighted planning by a far-sighted city.
The Taiwan Power Company sends electricity to the 101 building through 2 lines. These 2 lines are independent of each other. If one or both of them experience a failure, we have an emergency generator as a backup.
With so much backup, Taipei 101 doesn't worry about power outages. But Taipei does. In the past 2 decades, electricity consumption has grown at an average rate of 7.5% per year. To meet demand, Taiwan now imports 97% of its energy. Now Taipei is building a declaration of independence, a megastructure to power a megacity. "50 kilometers from Taipei rises the city's new lifeline. A $6.5 billion investment to help wean Taiwan off foreign energy. The Lungmen nuclear power plant. It's a concrete symbol of Taipei's spirit. Innovate to succeed and do it yourself. When complete, the plant will help keep power flowing to the nation's capital." Taipei went on a growth spurt half a century ago, and it hasn't stopped growing. It draws visitors and countrymen to one of the most vibrant cities on Earth. Taipei is more than the political capital of Taiwan. It's the heart of education, business, and culture. A world-class city with a basic need for power.
Taipei has a population of more than 2 million people. There are lots of electrical appliances, especially air conditioners in office buildings and hospitals.
Wei Tzu Chen is the project manager for Lungmen. Rising on high ground, Lungmen is poised to make a big statement. The plant will house 2 1,350 megawatt reactors. It's a sophisticated new design called an advanced boiling water reactor. 205 control rods are inserted into the core, a sealed container called the pressure vessel. The nuclear reaction heats the water to the boiling point, releasing steam. The steam flows through sealed pipes to a turbine to generate power. Unlike a traditional reactor, most of the pumps and pipes are contained inside the pressure vessel. Radioactive water can't leak out. It's also fully automated, making accidents highly unlikely. Most of all, it is nearly 100 times safer than conventional plants. The entire plant will have 3 backup safety systems to ensure a steady supply of cooling water and power.
The white structure is the cover of the nuclear reactor, which is the heart of our plant.
This is the first time Lungmen has allowed cameras inside the construction site. On this very spot, engineers will harness the power of the atom.
We're under the bottom of the reactor core. There are many control motors overhead. We can stand here right now, but after the 205 fuel rods are inserted, you couldn't stand here because this area will be filled with radiation.
When complete, this single plant will supply more than 6% of Taiwan's power. Megawatts to fuel a mega city and a mega structure.
This place used to be farmland. We picked the site and started from nothing. We have watched it rise up layer by layer. It's like seeing a child grow up. It's a hard process. There's no doubt about it. But it's a happy process.
In Chen's lifetime, he's watched another child grow up, Tai Pei. From juvenile city to sophisticated mega city. The kind of metropolis that can reach for the clouds without losing its footing. At every outrigger on Taipei 101 appears a cloud-like symbol called a rui. It stands for prosperity and good luck. From the heights of the tower, every cloud seems to hold a silver lining.
See this building rising so high above everything else in the city, that shows that we have already reached a certain status in our economic development, in the social development, and we are reaching for a higher goal, and we want to continue this effort and this growth.
Now, so when I travel, go to the airport, I see this building is used as our symbol. I'm very happy to see that.
However much Taipei may change, a constant remains. There's no place like home.
My parents still live in Taipei. I enjoy coming back to have dinner with them. It's a very good feeling, and no money can buy it.
For the little tiger, life is golden.